You know we've been dropping some absolute alpha over the last couple of days, and guess what? We have even more. XRP, Singapore, RLUSD, and a price pump that, well, could be coming by the end of this week. I've got it all for you in this video. Go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with all the latest in the crypto market, XRP, your favorite altcoins, and everything else. Every day we're covering it here on the channel. If you want a little bit more, grab a channel membership, head on down to the bottom of the window, click that join button, gives you access to our premium Discord channel as well. New VC opportunities, coins, chart analysis, and much, much more. But let's talk XRP right now. So, could be December setting out to be the biggest move yet in XRP's history. We know that historically we've seen over an 80% move. Yes, I know what you're saying. Back in 2017, it was an 800% move, but kind of feels like the same thing is aligning right now. 2017, there wasn't really the SEC case, and 2025, there isn't the SEC case. So could we start to see XRP potentially move to the upside? Well, there's some big news that we're going to talk about towards the end of this video, so I highly recommend you watch till the end. But here and now, what have we got coming up? Well, we've been talking ETFs, we've been talking about increased volume, and now we have further coming aligned. 21 shares goes live later on today, and all eyes are on its volume and all eyes are on what's going to happen. Lots of people are obviously excited about these ETFs, and I think what's important to reference here is that we've seen a very good start with all those ETFs that came last week. When we're talking Bitwise, Canary Capital, Franklin Templeton, have all amassed a substantial amount of volume, netting over $243 million in its first week. And bear in mind, that's taking XRP off the market. But what's going on behind the scenes? What are the institutions saying? And why is there such an exciting narrative? Well, listen to this. According to expert ETF fund managers, the ETF funds themselves are legally forbidden from purchasing XRP directly from payments firm Ripple or the escrow. Now, this was something that David Schwartz talked about, that potentially people could buy the amount of XRP in the escrow. Reality is they have to buy it out on the open market, and it's due to a court's injunction that every single ETF must acquire the altcoin on the open market, breaking the concept of shortcuts, backdoor deals, and wholesale buying. This is, again, aligned to some of the conversations we're having recently around whether banking institutions, financial markets, and who else is trying to get involved. This is where the supply squeeze could come in that many people have talked about. If you want to see a video talking about that, let me know in the comments. But the payment firm will avoid causing taxable events, and that's essentially why they don't touch the escrow. Such a move would imply that Ripple is drip feeding just enough liquidity to avoid dislocation with ETFs and actively absorbing circulating supply. This is the short squeeze done deliberately by Ripple. But that's not the alpha I want to drop. I've got something even bigger. The fact is that Ripple have been on an onslaught. We talked about this, the purchase of Rail for nearly $200 million. They bought Hidden Road as well as many others. This is a big corporate move for the adoption of XRP, particularly into the financial markets. The question though is, why is the price still down? Main take today, for example, we had a pretty solid weekend. All of a sudden, XRP, as long as the broader market, dumps to oblivion. Well, why? What's going on? Why is this all happening? Well, this is kind of one of the reasons. We obviously saw one of the best markets yet. Bitcoin rallying to a brand new all-time high of 125K, but a lot of people are now starting to fall out of love with the Trump administration. Obviously, Trump came in pro-cryptocurrency. We were all thinking our bags are going to the moon, and they simply haven't delivered. There's lots of negative press right now that Trump's in it for himself. The promised internal change at the SEC did lead to a small rally, but once the lawsuits were done when it comes to SEC, nothing's really happened. Everything just seems to be trucking on. The pump here, but the bigger dump there. It doesn't appear right now that XRP's fundamentals are out of shape. It doesn't feel like they've changed. And in fact, anything, XRP feels stronger than ever. The broader market, in particular the altcoin market, simply not having a good rally. But like we said, that could all be about to change. And I've been saying that even if we were to go into a bear market, I still think XRP is probably got one of the best opportunities yet. Here is why. DBS, Franklin Templeton, and the Ripple team have all partnered up to tokenize money market funds on trading. Now, here's where it gets pretty interesting. Singapore is partnering up with the US asset manager Franklin Templeton and the blockchain firm Ripple to offer accredited and institutional investor trading and lending services using tokenized money market funds and Ripple's US dollar. Now, you may be thinking, 2bit, we know about this, or I've heard all this before. Why is this important? Well, Singapore is actually the biggest cryptocurrency ownership rate as of 2024 and 2025, with nearly 25% of everyone holding cryptocurrency, just behind the UAE, and actually quite a significant portion ahead of the US. So why is this an important deal? You're talking emerging markets, and you're talking emerging markets with huge GDP, with huge money, and a big financial sector that is booming right now. What better coin to be positioned than XRP and RLUSD? We talked yesterday about how there's 300 banking and financial markets all coming to XRP, UAE adopting it for real estate, well, Singapore doing exactly the same for tokenization on chain. And this all aligns to a potential big rally. How else do you know that there's adoption coming in? These are the markets to be involved in. Well, Ripple's RLUSD will be powering MasterCard's credit card settlements on XRP Ledger. Yes, it's a pilot scheme. It was announced at Swell 2025, but more importantly, this is going to be about fiat compliant rails and card payments, and will support the broader markets for RLUSD and XRP, in particular, the XRP Ledger. This will be the first time a regulated US bank also is using a public blockchain and stablecoin to settle fiat card payments. Pretty big deal if you ask me. And then what does this week look like? Well, with the market dumping out the weekend, we have to wait and see. With Fed cutting quantitative tightening, QE on the horizon, the argument could be this is going to be a volatile week. So while a dump right now might not be the worst thing, watch out though for the upside move. Lots of data going to come in today. Hopefully this is going to push the markets, but the broader horizons look incredibly bullish for XRP, whether it's tokenization, whether it's on and off ramps, whether it's countries adopting it for the financial markets, or simply banks getting involved. Everything seems to be ticking to the right side for XRP. We just need the price to come with us. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. How bullish are you on XRP, and do you think it's a pump week or a dump week this week for your XRP bags? As always, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and grab that channel membership by clicking the join button, and you get access to our premium Discord. Can't wait to see you guys in there. Right, as always, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.